guy that you don't really get to know very well, I'd imagine. I've only met him a couple of times. He's very quiet, highly intelligent, very nervous, looks at the floor a lot, and writes very perceptive, very satirical lyrics. Again, there's the whole high school, beg your pardon, art school background to the entire band, so it has that kind of graphic kind of feeling to it.
He assumes a fascinating posture on stage.
It's like watching him at a rehearsal. I mean, he's perfectly exactly the same.
He's usually looking up at the ceiling rather than the floor when he's performing.
So
oh, that's right.
Embarrassed.
The floor. That's where the people are. So no,
I'm not one to really. I don't know. I don't know much about David. I like him very much. The couple of times I've met him.
I would agree. They are an amazing band. And
I think their writing is striking.
When the time comes for you to make that journey again from city to city and work live, whether you wouldn't get to a point where you could let your imagination run rampant.
I'm just coming on in a black box and a bowl of ice cream. I'm not contributing.
Sitting on a chair.
That's right.
Just a stool and a black backdrop.
Pretending to be John Cage. I think probably around fall. I think that's the time.
Fall of 1980?
Yeah.
Do you think it will be an elaborate show?
Elaborate, only out of necessity, if it's necessary to do something like that. I'm trying to devise an actual piece for the next thing I do. I don't think I'm very content at the moment in just sort of trotting out the songs on the record, so to speak. I'm losing my interest in doing that yet again, and I don't want to retire again. It's so passé, and I've done it 3 times now, and it doesn't really work, so I'll have to sort of do something I really feel happy with theatrically, I suppose. I've only done one really elaborate show, and that was the Diamond Dog show, which had an extraordinary amount of paraphernalia attached to it. But the other shows have really sort of been born out of 1 or 2 very good basic ideas for the way the thing should be presented, its atmosphere, how it should be starkly lit at some times, flooded with light at others. So I think I'd like to try and settle down to playing fewer cities, but playing longer runs at cities. The idea of running off every night to another place is terrifying. I loathe it. It's awful.
Do you like television as a medium to work in?
I think that's very interesting, yes. I think I'll probably do a lot more of that.
It certainly will be the medium of the 80s.
Yeah.
What with satellites and cable and video discs and videotapes.
I find it very hard to find shows that will let me do what I want to do, so I'm very glad about things like cable television. There's only a couple of shows that I can sort of get on and do the stuff that I really want to do.
The final record that you have brought to play for us tonight is by the Mekons.
Well, there's such a host of new bands that I'd love to play. I mean, it's been really hard to try and pick out records for this show. I've tried my best. I hope nobody's angry with the things I left out. I'm angry at myself, and some I look back now. Anyway, so this one I thought was for the future. Some of the English bands that I've heard recently, I think the Mekons will probably have quite a large audience very soon. I think they're very, very nice. They come out of the Pistols thing. There's another edge to them. And this one's called Where Were You by the Mekons.